So, inspired by one of my friends, I've decided to do a backyard video log of my gardening efforts and all of that jazz. So, I'm going to walk you around my yard a little bit and talk about my plans, and we'll have some more videos as the season goes on to see if any of those plans actually work out. So, let's start. Anyway, a quick pan across the yard. See some of my kids' stuff. So, we'll start over here. I've got a lot of the pots out that I'm going to be using this year. Some of them still need to be emptied. But I got a lot of them. That's nice. So these are some garden beds that I had previously. There used to be a third one over there. And the wood has just rotted, and this was a kit that I got from Home Depot 2 years ago because my daughter really wanted to get into it and I didn't have time to make one myself. That was nice, so we got the kit, and it lasted 2 years before the feet started to rot. Some of the stuff that we planted in here has survived. We got some chives, or I think they're chives that we planted here. So at some point I got to dig all of that up and replant them into a more distributed area. And there might be some mint or basil or something still surviving in the bed. I'm not really sure. This one over here I made from an old dresser drawer, and it barely survived a year. This winter absolutely killed it, and the second one is also completely gone. So those obviously are getting replaced with something. This is my bee house for mason bees, or carpenter bees. And you can see there's a couple of nests made. And every year it gets a little more use, which makes me happy, because the more they use it, the more bees that are pollinating, and also the fewer mason bees that are making holes in my house. They just come and they use these holes instead, which is cool. And this was a planter box for a bonsai tree. These are some of my bonsai. But I'm gonna probably repurpose this for gardening this year. I think a lot of these are going to get replaced with recycled tires. I'll get some tires from the mechanic up the street, and we'll do all of this with tires instead, so they'll last more than a year or two. Got a compost heap going over here. It's filled with a lot of really big stuff, so I don't know how much use it's going to get this year, although the bottom layer has some really good mulch in it. We'll see. Hopefully that gets more use and we can start putting more vegetables and stuff in it. This is the sloped backyard that I have no idea what I'm going to do about. I want to do something. If you were wondering about these in the initial pan, it's the play pins for the rabbits when we bring them outside. So I've got all this area that had been completely forested, like furrowed. It was pretty nasty and unusable. So this spring we've started cleaning out a lot of it, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it quite yet, but I would like to do something. There's vaguely level areas right here, and then again right along here, although the whole property slopes downward into that corner, and I don't know that there's much I can do about it, except maybe build some kind of planter down there. But as the spring goes on, all of these trees will get leaves, and there will be lots and lots and lots and lots of shade. So what am I going to grow that doesn't require essentially any sunlight? I don't know yet. And we've got over here one very sad and lonely blueberry bush that's managed to survive a couple of years now. And I think probably what I'm going to do with it, because the soil is not very good for blueberries here, I'll take a smaller tire or something, and I'll make a planter around it, fill it with soil, so I can, because blueberries like acid soil, so I'm gonna put some add some acidity to it, and maybe get the blueberry to actually really start growing. So we'll see. These are some of the trees that I cut down earlier, making a perimeter with them temporarily until we can get some kind of nicer fence or something. But they were providing too much shade, and some of them were invasive. This guy right here was an invasive species and was going to seed all across the lawn and was being a real problem for me, so we finally took it out. And it's probably going to be replaced with this oak, presuming I don't dig it up and make it into a bonsai. But it's the joys of the city, huh? It's rooted pretty firmly, so we may just end up letting it grow. If not this one, then this one. Probably not both. One of the two is going to have to come out. And that's it. So we have a lot of work. And hopefully next time I do an update like this, it'll be looking a lot better. And we'll have some planters going and some seeds started. And it'll actually look like a garden.